All right, everyone. Today we're talking about the 3 tokens that I think could be huge players in the crypto world in the next few years. But before we get to that, my name is Jeremy, and if you want to follow along in my journey of how I try to build wealth for my family, then subscribe to the channel, hit the bell icon so you don't miss a thing. Now, I say it every video, but I'll say it again here. None of this is intended to be financial advice. I am literally just a guy sitting in front of a computer rambling to a camera. But thank you for watching. Let's get to it. All right, so the 3 tokens that we're going to be talking about today and why I think that they could be huge players in the next few years are Theta, HOT or Holochain and STORJ token. And I'm going to go through each one of them and why I think they have the potential to be huge players in the coming years. All right, so let's first talk about Theta. So if you haven't heard about Theta, I do a deep dive in Theta. I will link that up above. But Theta is essentially a project that aims to decentralize streaming video. So when you look at video, how it's typically broadcast around the web right now is, let's take YouTube for instance. Since you're sitting on YouTube watching this video, you would go to YouTube, you're browsing around the different videos, and you click on a video that you want to watch. When you do that, the platform goes to what's called a CDN, a content delivery network. It finds the closest sort of data warehouse near you, and it grabs that video and it starts pushing it out to your stream, to your computer, your physical computer. Now, think about it. Every single person watching YouTube is getting a separate stream to each of those CDNs or to a CDN. So they could have thousands of people connecting to that CDN to get those video streams. And so that's expensive, and it requires a large pipe at those CDNs. So what Theta has done is they have created a distributed video delivery system, essentially. And so what happens is, let's say that Johnny is watching that video, and now you click to watch that video. Instead of having to go to that CDN, it can send you to Johnny's computer, and he can use his spare bandwidth to upload that video to you. And it saves these massive video distributors because they're basically piggybacking off of Johnny. And Johnny earns a little bit of crypto in the way of T-Fuel for doing that. And so you can see that just by that one simple thing, it really has the ability to revolutionize video streaming across the world. In the US, we don't experience much buffering and when we're watching videos. As long as you have a decent internet connection, you usually get pretty strong streams. Other areas of the world where there's not CDNs close by, it's a huge problem because trying to push out those videos to those areas is just not profitable for a lot of these companies. So they just don't do it. They would rather people buffer and have to wait to watch these videos. Theta solves all of that. The other thing about Theta is when you look at it from just a numbers place, or numbers, whatever I'm trying to say, Theta, you know, right now it's $11.70. $11 billion capitalization market cap. There is a whole lot of room for Theta to move. It's relatively unknown right now, but you look at Polkadot, Cardano, these are in 38 billion, 40 billion, and so there's a lot of room for Theta to go up, and I think it could be a huge player moving forward. All right, so the second video, or the second token I want to talk about is Holochain, or what's called HOT is the actual token. Now HOT, Holochain, essentially solves the problem of databases. And I went into a video on Holochain and how that all works. I will link it up here. But essentially it distributes, it's technically not a blockchain. It uses distributed hash tables, but it allows nodes, what they call nodes, to essentially maintain their own data. So if you think about a social media app, for instance, each individual person on that app is a node within the Holochain network. And as they post things, it gets stored under their unique node hash table, and it also gets uploaded to a common hash table. But the unique thing about that is that you actually control your data. It's not a third party somewhere that's controlling your data. You actually control your data, and everything is signed with your private key, so it's verified that it's actually you. And with Holochain, you can actually build multiple applications off of the Holochain network. And so a node, you, can participate in multiple apps with the same credentials and maintain and control your data on all of those different apps. And so the way I like to look at Holochain is as essentially a distributed database. I've heard people call it iCloud, distributed iCloud. I don't think that's a good term for it because it's not really storing files. I guess you could potentially build it to store files, but right now it seems like the use case is as a distributed database that is free from censorship because, you know, it's a pseudo blockchain, and so it can't really be censored, especially by the fact that you are maintaining your own records and posts and that kind of thing. If you look at the market cap of HOT, let me go up here. All right, so HOT is a little bit different right now. I'm not really sure how it's going to play out as far as the token itself. It's got a market cap of $4.9 billion. The price is 2.8 cents. So it's very low, but it's got a very large supply of tokens, 169 billion tokens. Now this is an EC20 token built on Ethereum, and it will eventually turn into a something called Holo Fuel, and you'll be able to swap your Holo tokens for Holo Fuel. The other thing, and I'm going to jump back for just a second, when I just said that this is an EC20 token, I think it's important to note that Theta also has the ability to build tokens on top of it at far lower prices than Ethereum. So that's why I think that Theta, just that alone and the ability to do NFTs, Theta could easily top Bitcoin in my opinion as far as market cap goes. But let's jump back to Holo. Just look at how it's moving here and what it's trying to accomplish. I really truly believe that Holo could solve the problem with Amazon Web Services, and look at what Google's been doing with Firebase and their cloud database storage. You know, this could essentially solve a lot of those problems, really create a censor-free internet. So that's number 2 token, why I think it could be a huge player. And then let's go ahead and talk about storage. Again, I did a video on storage. I will link that up here. You can go check that out. Storage aims to solve the CDN problem. So right now, the way that files are stored is on CDNs. You basically pay for these massive storage containers at places across the web. You upload your files there and they're stored in the cloud. Storage basically takes that idea and creates a distributed blockchain to solve that problem. So as a host or a node, you can store files on your excess storage space, share your bandwidth to upload and download, and people can basically use your device as a storage container rather than having it placed in one of these large warehouse data stores somewhere. Again, this is why I think that it could solve the problem of censorship in a lot of ways, because there is no one person that's storing your files. The way that storage works is basically, when you go to upload something to the storage network, it encrypts that file, then it breaks it up into smaller pieces and it sends it out to the storage network and gets stored in pieces across the web on the storage network. And you basically pay these random nodes a small amount of money to store those files. And so if you think about, here you go, split files up and distribute it. So if you think about the traditional way that files are stored and distributed today, you know, you basically, let's think about, we'll go back to YouTube, for instance. YouTube, those files get uploaded, they get sent to a CDN, then they get replicated to all of their other CDNs, and then when somebody wants to watch that video, it sends you to the closest CDN, and then it streams it out. So when you look at putting Theta and Holochain and STORJ together, then all of a sudden you have a trifecta that aims to solve a lot of the issues that are going on the web right now. Every web application has a database component. When you sign up, for instance, in YouTube, let's just keep talking about YouTube. You sign up for YouTube, you create an account. It creates a record on the database that has all of the information about your account. When you upload a video, you take that video, you store it on their service. It also creates a database record that you uploaded this video. Here's the meta information, here's the description, all of that stuff. And then when somebody watches it, it pushes it out from one of those CDNs and streams that data. So Theta, Holochain, and STORJ all solve a big problem that all of these companies, streaming companies especially, are dealing with and trying to solve because of the sheer cost of maintaining these large data centers that are, you know, one point of failure. Not really when you're looking at multiple CDNs, but for a geographic area, there is one point of failure. And if that pipe were to go down, all of a sudden you got to direct that traffic to another CDN. But with this, it literally is distributed across thousands of nodes and hosts, and it really mitigates that risk and it reduces the cost. And so I really truly believe that Theta, Holochain or Hot token, and STORJ token in their, obviously their projects that are behind them, has a huge potential in the next 2 to 5 years. What they're going to do is really going to be hard to fathom. If you like this video, please like it, share it with somebody that you think would like to watch it. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and go check this video out. I'm going to link it over here. You can go watch that. I'll see you over there.